in the next session now, we're going to be speaking to Mr. Tobi Asehinde from Digital Marketing Training Institute to pretty much just talk to us about the importance of getting certified as a digital marketer. Mr. Asehinde, over to you, please.
Okay. All right. Good afternoon, everyone, once again. Thank you very much for introducing me. Yeah, okay, so good. Okay, so I'm just going to be talking about the importance of having a certification. And I'm happy before my speaking, ADMARP shared what it takes to become a member, a certified member. And most importantly, we did talk about pay, about digital marketers not getting the actual pay that they deserve. And I think one of the first steps to achieving that is actually one of the first steps to achieving that would be, first of all, being certified, being part of an association, a membership such as ADMARP. Would be one of the first importance of actually being getting certification. Now, why is certification in the first place very essential or very, very important, right? Because one of the things that certification does is that it helps you to stand out. There's a lot of in the initial panel with this, there were discussions around the challenges that are being faced when it comes to hiring and the likes, right? And I think any hiring manager, when they see that you are specialized or you've earned a specialized certification in this particular skill, you become more attractive to such hiring manager, such employer. And that in itself is also something that is very, very, that stands you out. Now, one of the interesting things also that one of the panels spoke about was the brain drain that is going on in Nigeria, the fact that a lot of people are moving out of the country because of the pay is not significant. I mean, one of the importance of not just having the skill, but having the skill, being certified, right, with the skill is very, very important. Is that it aids your relocations or your let's say JAPA, right? What do you call it? Because now there are a lot of visa categories, especially talent visa categories. Almost all European countries have talent categories. Even Canada also has talent category. The UK, the US, and majority of them, one of the things they look out for is, aside from evidence that you've been able to get results in that field, they also want to know, a good way to also show that you are a talent is also to show that you have some level of certifications, right, from credible organizations, right, to certify that you have these skills. And that's very, very important. So I'm just going to run down the key benefits in numbers. So I'm just going to start from the first one, which is number one is being certified helps to validate your knowledge, right? Helps to validate your knowledge. And where that comes very, very handy typically is even at the CV level, at your LinkedIn profile level. That's where it starts from. So an hiring manager is trying to add on or trying to find you, right? They want to know that, okay, do you have these particular skills? And typically recently, I've spoken to a couple of hiring managers, both locally and internationally. And a lot of them say that sometimes they go to LinkedIn and they just go click on, they go to, most educational, on LinkedIn, most educational companies have this part where you can see all the people that have gone through their training by them listing it under certifications in their profile, right? So you have people that just go straight there to just try and filter for talents, and they use that as a means to as a means to add on who they want to go for. And most importantly, when they're looking for those skills, right, part of what they look at is, okay, what are the certificates that you have acquired, right? What membership are you part of? So being not just when we talk about certification, I think we should really divide it into two angles, right? You're talking about professional certifications, and you're also talking about professional membership, right? Professional membership certifications, right? Which is where you are, they're looking at, okay, are you part of any member? Because another thing also is, it's not just about you being certified, it's also looking at, okay, what are the kind of networks that you're going to be able to have access to if you start work and you don't get something or you need assistance. Are you part of any certified body that you can always reach out to for assistance, right? So the other thing also that it does is, number two, is it increases your marketability. And marketability is, I think I touched based on it in the previous one of validation, the fact that you can easily be found through the certificates that you've acquired, right? And some people just go straight and even search from certification points of view when they're trying to recruit or when they're trying to hire, right? And so increasing how marketable you are, right, helps a lot also to be able to demonstrate that your income, the kind of income or your negotiation power when it comes to negotiating as well. And I mean, that basically just takes me to the next point, which is increased earning power, right? So one of the best and the easiest way to increase earning power, and a lot of people will argue this because they'll say Nigerian employers don't care about certifications, right? And I can tell you for a fact that, you know, it all depends on the kind of organization, but most growth-focused organizations, right, they look at certifications very, very importantly, right? And they use that also in making their decisions, right, in terms of negotiation, right? And it's just the thinking of, you know, so let me just try and explain it. So, like, okay, let me explain it in this manner, right? So Nike, for example, right? One of Nike's marketing strategies to use celebrities to market their products, right? And why do they? What's the reason, or what's part of the reasons of them doing that, right? The idea is when you see a Nike shirt, for example, on a popular footballer, for example, right, you are imagining that particular person must have paid a lot for that particular item, right? If you see a particular item with a footballer, for example, you assume that it's an expensive item. So automatically, what do you equate that to? What you equate that to is that when you see that product in the supermarket or in the store, you are automatically assuming the price or the worth of that particular product, right? And those were one of the things that they wanted to achieve, you know, when Nike was using, and they continue to do that today, and that has given birth to many organizations doing something similar as well in their marketing. Apple uses that a lot as well. I mean, one of Apple's strategy initially when they were trying to push their mark was in almost all the good movies where you have really, really brilliant, really good actors. They would always be using one Apple product or the other, right? And it builds a brand perception of that particular person. Now, when it comes to certification, also the same thing also matters a lot, right? Because when you have certifications and those things are reflecting, it's automatically is implying to employers and hiring managers that, okay, if he or she has this skill, right, then automatic, or this certification, then it also aids your negotiation power, because by the time you get to that point, it becomes a lot much easier to say, okay, you know what, this is my salary expectation, and they can see it from the kind of the quality of your certifications and the quality of what you've been able to achieve over a period of time. Also, when it comes to improved reputation, that's another key aspect as well. right? When it comes to improve reputation, just like I explained, the kind of way, and I think when it comes to certification, what's more important is the kind of body or the kind of organization that you get that certification from, right? Because that is where the reputation takes its place. And I do also say that, one of the things is, for everybody that has gotten that certification, the way they also appear in other organizations also tells a lot about how they are going to perform in their, how other people or build a perception of other people. So let's say, for example, X company has hired someone that is certified by X organization, and that person does exceptionally very well, then automatically what that means is that other people that have that, in fact, they might just even be watching out for that particular type of certification. Like, I do know that a lot of tech companies in Nigeria, for example, like to hire people that are graduate from or that have certifications from Covenant University, right? And the reason to that is because there's been some form of trial and test experience in that particular angle. So those are the key things that you have to understand about being certified. You also have, enhanced reputation, enhanced credibility, and most importantly, it also helps to increase your confidence as well. Because one of the things that I find a lot, especially with new beginners in digital marketing, is that they are not as confident to even explore and to even go deep into the industry, right? And a certification can easily help you to boost, because it's an organization basically saying that you are worthy to be called a digital marketing professional or to be called a specialist in different areas in the digital marketing sector. So that's something that we should look at. And then also finally, I'm just going to end by saying it also creates respect amongst your peers as well, because if you are certified, you are part of a particular body, then automatically that helps your credibility, that helps people to also respect you. And if someone is reading your profile and they are mentioning all the certifications you've had, that could also go a long way to obviously increasing the opportunities and the access to opportunities that you have. Thank you very much.